And welcome to another Cougar 2 restoration slash rebuild video. Anyway, this is the gearbox. Quick video, well, 10 minutes. Quick video of the original gearbox that I rebuilt a while ago. This is the original slipper clutch. This is the original slipper clutch from the 90s. They have superseded them nowadays, but I still think this is a very, very nice slipper clutch. Do remember originally buying this as a modification for my 1990 Cougar, which made a very, very big difference when racing or driving. Very big difference. But anyway, this was standard on the Cougar 2 race edition. Got to remember we're dealing with a race edition. The slipper clutch was standard. Also on the race edition was your metal gearbox components, which we will see very soon. So anyway, stripping this slipper clutch, you've got a spring, tension spring, couple of washers, very, very basic design, but awesome effect to the car. Awesome effect to the car. So you got your two plates, obviously, that you squash together. You got your thrust bearing, which just drops in here. This is thrust bearing. Little thruster. Here you go with your two washers. That drops in there. So, and there's your friction plate, which is completely different nowadays. They are a lot bigger, a lot wider. It's very thin. I don't know why they went with a very thin friction plate. I don't know, but oh well. Anyway, thrust bearing. This is just a strip down of the video. There's a strip down of the gearbox, so you can see the Cougar 2 Team Edition gearbox. So that is the slipper clutch. Very simple. Very simple design, but very, very effective. Now, I rebuilt this gearbox a very, very long time ago, and I inadvertently used the incorrect screws. Anyone observant would be noticing these are straight pan head screws. These are not used on the Cougar 2. Not used. These are, unfortunately, my big fat mistake back when I rebuilt this was I used the screws out of a standard Cougar, not a Cougar 2. So you got your Phillips screws. I know it's very anal just to go on about the screws, but any observant people out there will say, "Oh, you've got the wrong screws in that gearbox." I know. I addressed this issue when I rebuild it. I will be using the period correct screws in the rebuilding of the gearbox. This is primarily why I'm actually taking the gearbox to bits. One, to make a quick video of its inner workings, and two, to replace the screws. What do you have to do when you replace the screws? You have to strip it down. Anyway, while I'm fiddling about with these screws, you could probably notice that this gearbox is basically exactly the same as any other Cougar gearbox until excuse me, until you get to the inside. Well, this is one of the main bearings for the slipper clutch. Yeah, you can actually, I think in the original kit, the bearing had a bush in the middle, but obviously these bearings are easy enough to get. You just wow, that's a bit tight. You can it makes a big difference actually if you get a proper bearing that sits on the opposite side of your slipper clutch. Makes it nice and stable. Gets rid of any wear whatsoever, no wear whatsoever. They're a tiny bit tight, so I will rip that off in a bit once I've got the other side off. But the slipper clutch is very significant to this gearbox. If you ever see a Cougar 2 without the original slipper clutch on it, it'll be very disappointing, because this slipper clutch is awesome. But anyway, we're talking rubbish about this slipper clutch. Once we get into this gearbox, I'll show you the piece de resistance of the Cougar 2 Team Edition gearbox. I believe this is the same as the Works gearbox. It's only the Team Edition that had the metal parts in the actual gearbox. So if you ever get sold a Team Edition, ask about the gearbox, because you can get a Sport or a other one. You'll be disappointed. It's really good design, actually. It's a much better design than the original, because more or less it just clips together. And it's a very nice fit. Here you go. This is the rest of the slipper clutch. All the spacers. That's what makes the magic happen. They modified it from the original Top Cat, I believe. This is the same as the Top Cat. You got your Top Cat and your Cougar. They use the same components in the gearbox. So if you want to be historically correct, this is modified from the original Top Cat, because the Top Cat's the same as the Cougar 1, so it don't matter. And the Cougar 2 slightly modified the internal workings of the gearbox. Say slightly. You'll see in a second. We will smash this out of here. Obviously the belt's standard, nothing special about the belt. I know nowadays if you get the new improved gearboxes from Schumacher, they've got rubber rings on. I don't really like those rubber rings. Don't really do it for me, them. But anyway, if you ever buy a Team Edition Cougar 2 and it does not possess this metal gearbox, say metal gearbox, I mean it's the inner workings of the gearbox. You know what? I've tried to hunt these down for replacements. Luckily there's nothing wrong with this. I actually hunted these down and I cannot find these anywhere. Absolutely nowhere. So if you happen to have one, you're very lucky. If you don't have one, then it's tough, because it's very, very, very difficult to find these parts. Very difficult. Here you go. That's all it is. Washer, thrust. These, I've actually changed these little, not these ones. I've actually changed the balls to ceramic ones. I mean, I know it's not standard, but changed them to ceramic. I mean, you can get the bearings. I have hunted down these bearings, but you cannot get the aluminium plates. Love no money. I have tried to find these, and it's a no. You can get the bearings, but what's the point in getting the bearings if you can't get the plates? It's not worth it. So anyway, you can more or less see the inner workings of the Cougar 2 Team Edition gearbox, which is very tasty. I mean, you have to go some to beat this nowadays. I mean, I've bought the new gearbox for the re-released Cougar, and it's not as good as this. I didn't even bother fitting it. I bought it and thought, because I was going to fit it to me Cougar that I'm racing, my Cougar 1 that I'm racing, but I thought, no, not going to bother. It didn't make that much difference. All I did was wasted 50 quid technically. Didn't make that much significant difference to actually bother using it. So I'm not using brushless motors, so this would take a brushless motor. Absolutely would, definitely. Ceramic balls in there ball. It's got a ceramic ball, so it would take a brushless. And that's it. That's the gearbox. That is the Cougar Tomb Edition 2 gearbox, and that's the inner workings. And hope you enjoyed a little bit of insight, and that's it. And I need to put this back together with the original screws. And laters.